question 4. Question 4 says to find the equation of the line through the point minus 3, 2, which divides the line segment from minus 6, I'm going to do this, minus 6, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 6, 2. That's the point minus 6, 2. And to the point minus 3, minus 4. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. Minus 3, minus 4. We have a line that, there's a line that divides this in the ratio 1 is to 2. So I'm guessing 1 is to 2, so that's about here. There's a line and it goes through this here, it cuts here, and it goes through the point minus 3, 2. So minus 3 up 2. So we want the equation of the line that goes through that point and cuts this in the ratio 1 is to 2. So to get the equation of a line, we need to know its slope. So if we find the point here that divides this line segment in the ratio 1 is to 2, if we can find this point, then we can find the equation of this line by getting the slope and using the formula. So we need to find the point that divides minus 6, 2 to minus 3, 4, minus 4 in the ratio 1 is to 2. I personally prefer to do this without using the formula. So if it's going to do it in the ratio 1 is to 2, we see what do we do to go from minus 6 to minus 3? We would plus 3. Okay, now we need to divide that in the ratio 1 is to 2, so that would be plus 1 plus 2. That gives us our plus 3 in the ratio 1 is to 2. Going from 2 to minus 4, we are actually minusing 6. So if we do that in the ratio 1 is to 2, that's minus 2 minus 4. If we divide minus 6 into the ratio 1 is to 2. So what does that mean? It means our point that does the dividing, we need to add 1 to minus 6 to make it minus 5. And we need to subtract 2 from 2 to make it 0. So the maths is telling me that it's actually the point 5, 0. So let's be a little bit more accurate here. So it's actually this point here that divides our line into the ratio 1 is to 2. This is the other point that's on this line that's dividing. So this is the line minus 3, 2, point minus 3, 2. This is the point minus 5, 0. So all we need to do now is get the slope of that line and use the equation of a line formula. So the slope of that line is y2 minus y1 over x2, which is minus 3, take away minus 5, which is plus 5, so minus 3 plus 5 is 2. So the slope of that line is actually 1. So m is 1. There's a point on it. We can take either point. So the formula is, because this point is also on the line, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y is equal to x plus 5, or whatever way they want it. I don't know if they want it a particular way. X minus y plus 5 equals 0. That's fine. Right. The next bit, part B of question 4. Okay. Right. Hopefully we get enough into one video. Right. Okay, so part B. Find the coordinates of the points where, having just rubbed it all out, where L cuts the x-axis and the y-axis. Well, L was the point, the line x minus y plus 5 equals 0. Just let me double check that. And we want to know where does it cut the x-axis and the y-axis. Again, no excuses. It cuts the x-axis when y is 0, and it cuts the y-axis when x is 0. So when y is 0, x is minus 5, and when when x is 0, then you get y is 5. Okay, the next part of the question then is hence find the area of the triangle formed by L and the 2 axes. Again, very nice. It cuts it at, so minus 5, 0, so this is minus 5, and 0, 5, out 0, up 5. So this length is 5. What's the area of that triangle? The area of that triangle, well, obviously in magnitude this is 5 and this is 5. So half the length of one side times the perpendicular distance between the side you picked and the opposite vertex. So it is 12.5 units. Okay, and the third part, a second line, y equals mx plus c, and I'll just hold this here. A second line, y equals mx plus c, where m and c are positive constants, passes through the point minus 3, 2, and forms a triangle with the axis of equal area to that in part B above. So we're saying there's another line. The equation of the line is y equals mx plus c. We are told that it goes through the point minus 3, 2, and we are told m and c are positive constants. And it forms a triangle with the axis of the same area. So it forms a triangle. So m and c are positive constants, which means that where it cuts the y-axis is a positive number, so we'll put the point here, and m is also positive, so it has a positive slope. So we'll draw it as being here somewhere, okay? So this is our line y equals mx plus c. And we also know that it goes through the point minus 3, 2. We want to find the equation of that line, and we're told that the area of that triangle is 12.5. Okay, so again, let's see. Where does this line cut the x-axis or the y-axis? It cuts the y-axis when x is 0, so it cuts the y-axis at the point C. Where does it cut the x-axis? It cuts the x-axis when y is 0, so then we'll get mx is equal to minus c. X is equal to minus c over m. C over m. Okay, so that is minus c over m. What does that mean? That means we know that that value here, that length is c from here to here. And we know that that length, because these are two positive values, that length is c over m. Okay, and we know that a half the length of one side, put over m, times the perpendicular distance between that side and the opposite vertex is 12.5. Okay, we know that these two are positive, we don't need to use the absolute values. So c squared over 2m is equal to 12.5. C squared is equal to 25m, whichever way, that's information. What's the other piece of information? It goes through the point minus 3, 2. So we also know that if we put minus 3 in for x and y is 2. So 2 equals minus 3m plus c. Okay, so c is equal to 2 plus 3m. Now we have two pieces of information, two unknowns we can solve. We've got c in terms of m, we will put it in there and put it equal to 25. So we have c squared, so 2 plus 3m squared is equal to 25m. So we have 4 plus 6m plus 6m plus 4 plus 12m plus 9m squared is equal to 25. 9m squared, 25m, sorry, 9m squared minus 13m plus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, and what will that give us? Oh dear, 9m and m. Could be 3 and 3 as well. So it could be 3m and 3m. We have a 4 and a 1. Now that's going to give us the 13 we want. a -1 and a -4. That gives us our +4. So we have m equals 1. We have m is equal to 1 and 9m minus 4 equals 0. So 9m is equal to 4. M is equal to 4 over 9. Now, this is telling us 2 lines, but remember in the previous question we already had one of the lines. We had a line that went through the point -3, 2 and made that area of 12.5. So basically, we know that's the line we already had, so this must be the other line. So the line we're looking for has a slope of 4 over 9. And if the slope is 4 over 9, that means C is 2 plus 3 times the slope. So C is 2 plus 12 over 9, 3 times 4 over 9. So C is that 2 over 9, that's 4 over 3. That's 1, so it's 3 1/3 or 10 over 3. So what does that give us for the equation then? Y equals mx plus c. And again, if we want, we can multiply across by 9. So 9y equals 4x plus 30, is that right? 4x, I'll just double check that in case I made a small mistake somewhere. No, that's right. Yeah, they don't bother. Well, they do. 4x minus 9y, yeah. 4x minus 9y plus 30 equals 0. That's the equation of your line. You should technically, rather than leave it like that, multiply across, don't have any fractions in your answer. Okay.